Hey guys, Kurt from Time Machine Transport. So, I was starting to put my rocker arms on. However, I'll tell you about that in a second. But anyways, so I've always, like I had a, where the hell's my flashlight at? Oh, right here. So I had an oil leak on this side of the block, and I always noticed it was coming from my, see where that threaded fitting is right there, yep. I always noticed there was oil coming there. I'm like, man, what the hell? I would check it out. Well, finally had time to look at it. And it's the oil dipstick. It's the tube that the dipstick goes into. There's a crack right there. And another one right there. What happened was, it was rubbing on the bracket. So I'm going to wipe this down. I got a new one from Freightliner. My cost was $32, $33. All it is a 3/4 inch open end. Well, this little bracket, this is on a Detroit 60 series. So this bolt here was 1/2 inch, the bracket to hold it on. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some silicone, and I'm going to dump silicone on the inside of this so it doesn't rub anymore. After I clean it, obviously. But this fitting here is a 3/4, and all it does is just moves. So you just get in there where that fitting is, and there's two fittings. I don't know what that fitting size in there is, but it didn't move at all. So you didn't have to hold it while you unscrew the other one. I may have to hold it when I tighten it back down. But that's it, man. So it just basically goes in like so. Grab my light again, sorry. Prop it up here. And it basically just goes in like that. And this bracket going to the back of the water pump is what holds it in place. And that's it. So 3/4 inch. I don't know what that, let's take a look. I think the bottom one, maybe the top one is 7/8, maybe. I don't think it's 15, 16. Anyways, it's going to be a little bit bigger. So, anyways, I'm going to put you on pause. All right, guys, back. Took me a little while. Anyways, it's on. And you'll see my silicone right there. Believe it or not, silicone is my go-to. Some people, their go-to is duct tape and whatnot. But mine, honestly, is silicone, man. It is such a great adherent. It's great to cushion stuff instead of a rubber hose or whatever. I just use silicone. Anyways, that's the final fitting right there. It wasn't that hard. I didn't Teflon it because it's a flared fitting. Anyways, I didn't use the same bracket because when I was going over everything, my oil fill tube down here was super loose. So I tightened it up, and then I found 2 of these brackets on there. 2 of these brackets, and obviously it only calls for 1. So it slid down somehow, some way, and that's it. So anyways, also with a cracked hose or tube or whatever, you're losing oil pressure, or you're losing motor pressure. So believe it or not, you are losing some pressure in the motor. So I believe, like I said, I'm not a mechanic. I don't pretend to be one. Now, this is crazy. If you're a subscriber to the channel, you know I'm working on my truck, and you can go back in my video, go to I think it's injectors part 2 of 2 videos. You can see when I pull off the Jake brakes, I tell you that these They're called rocker arm shafts, where all those holes are. There were no bolts in there. None. You can see my shop is overall pretty clean. I put everything exactly where I needed to go. Got my 6 spacers, my 2 Jake brakes, my valve cover bolts, and my 2 nuts that there's 2 studs on the head, one right there and one in the back. There's my 2 bolts. Literally, if you go to that video, you can see when I pull the 2, I said I'm gonna pull these 2 off, and then I say in the video, these don't have any bolts holding them down. I didn't lose them. I mean, I'm very thorough at, like I said, I'm not a mechanic, I don't pretend to be one, but I'm pretty thorough on what I do and where I put shit in the shop. I mean, I've seen a lot of dirty, filthy shops where you couldn't find a freaking, I mean, it's crazy how some of these shops are dirty. Anyways, there were no bolts in here. None. 6. The only thing holding those down were that. I don't, because I know there's 6 bolts in each one of the Jake brakes. And you have, so the spacers go on your manifold side. So there's 6 bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the spacers go on your manifold side. And then the other, so you got 3 on one side, 3 on one set, 3 on the other. So that leaves 6 bolts left. As you can see down there, they're on a diagonal. So the diagonal would be into here, there, and there. So I don't know what happened, but these are supposed to be, they're supposed to be like, I can't look on my phone, but I took a screenshot of it. If you, like I said, if you go into my video, you can see where I say there's 7 bolts to remove. So it's 6 bolts and 1 nut per rocker arm setup. So there's 2, just the Detroit 60 series and 2. So there were 6 bolts and 2 nuts. There were no bolts. When you go back and look in that video, I say there's no bolts holding down the rocker arms. There has to be bolts holding down these rocker arms, because I'd have to install the Jake brakes in order to run the overhead. That can't be it. I'm not a mechanic, but that just wouldn't make any sense. Anyways, so I got to call out the Freightliner. Of course, they haven't called me back, so I'm at another stopping point, and I am not happy. So I figured, well, I might as well go ahead and do my Dipstick tube. Anyways, I know it's not pertinent to the Dipstick tube, but I'm at my wit's end. So anyways, please like and subscribe to the channel. Ciao.